that all?
Buy carefully into Lenten above, as the Theoros I have observed. Virtuous citizens of Akama, fine Navides, Elysiae, and the Outlander are heading toward us.
Aglaya, what happened here?
I know about the poisonous fangs of that king snake through the golden threads. In the past, I would be confident about keeping her in check, but I admit I am now unable to do so.
What do you mean?
It is no longer about eloquence or arguments. I have been a demigod for far too long, that I hardly have any humanity left. Before I realized it, I have become no different from these hypocrites, no longer capable of relating to the people. This has come a lot sooner than I expected. But perhaps it is time. I need you to step up, Finan, in order for me to retreat behind the scenes.
Yes, this is my duty, but...
It is far easier for the Council of Elders to fool many than just fool one person. Their so-called more support is no more than a ruse to distribute power using words instead of lances. There is no glory in winning this debate, but that makes having respect for humans so much more priceless. Finan, you are a Chrysos heir without flaw, capable of relating deeply with humans.
I appreciate what you've taught me, Aglaya. I hope we'll live up to your expectations and win this debate.
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calictus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today. Dearest counselors, let it be known that I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Back then, Amphoreus was home to nearly 1,000 cities, each with their own local faith, while gods walked the earth and shared close bonds with humans. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to leave their homeland to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Kephile's protection. All of us have long been in the same boat, with no way out of this plight. We didn't have a choice in the past, but now the Council of Elders brings to the table a new possibility. All I have left is one question for you. Would you rather strive toward the unheard of Era Nova, or return to the prosperous Era Chrysia of our past? Make your choice. Now, which of the two would lead mortals to an ideal future?
Era Nova is a path of salvation the gods promised.
We should not have doubts in the flame chase journey.
We all know that Era Chrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kindness. Please, enlighten me. How does the Council of Elders plan to turn back time?
Let the 3 Titans of Calamity be born, and Era Chrysia is nevermore. But bring demise to those Titans, and Era Chrysia will descend upon us again. Know that the Council of Elders is never one to make empty promises. Look at who we have on our side. Anaxagoras, one of the Grove's 7 sages, and Castorus, Idonia's goddess of death. With the help of these 2 heroes, I can promise all of you that Era Chrysia will exist once more.
Aren't they Chrysos heirs? They're supporting the Council of Elders instead?
It's clear from the start that these heroes do not get along well in their group. All the more proof that Aglaia is unfit to speak on behalf of every Chrysos heir. I am in favor of Era Chrysia.
Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia!
Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia!
Castorus? Why are you standing over there?
You finally arrived, Naxa. So have you, Cass.
Don't worry, Aglaia. Well, I know that you have many queries. Could you continue to converse like how the citizens normally do? Tell me, dear citizens, if we successfully retreat and return Thanatos' core flame without anyone passing the Death Titan's trial, what would happen next?
The answer is simple. We will have a chance to rid the world of death and bring Amphoreus back to an era when all beings live forever. We'll usher in a new future that will be entirely different from the flame chase journey.
He's one of the 7 sages. That's impossible.
Your proposal is much too idealistic. As long as the Black Tide still exists, how can we go back to the old days?
Remember what I previously said? Kefali's core flame is guarded by the secret power of the Council of Elders. Plus, Pagusa's water curtain will be able to block out any external perceptions. Tell me, dear citizens, have any of you ever seen even a glimpse of the threat that this person is talking about anywhere within the walls of this majestic holy city?
Oh. Could it be that you heard that from the Flame Reaver themselves? Citizens, let's loudly sing the blessed hymn. Oh, beautiful old world, where are you now? Oh, legendary Era Chrysia, return to the mortal realm.
After the destruction of the 3 Titans of Calamity, the Flame Chase journey will have to end.
Era Chrysia! Yes! Yes! It has to end! It has to end! It has to end! It has to end!
This is bad. The masses are now totally riled up.
Anaxa, pray tell. Everything that you've mentioned hinges on the premise that we can find Thanatos' existence, right?
Thank you, Lady Aglaia. for still caring about this city. However, dear citizens, we are truly fortunate and blessed. For Castorus, Idonia's goddess of death, will surely find Thanatos under my guidance.
What?
With that, I solemnly promise that the core flame Lady Castorus brings back will be personally managed by the Council of Elders. Thereafter, if we are able to garner the support of all of you at the Citizens' Assembly, we shall spare no effort in ensuring that the Era Chrysia will return to our world once again.
Faith in the Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia!
With the balance shattered, the result is clear. Buy carefully into Lenten above, as the Theoros I have observed. Akama has chosen her destiny. The issue up for discussion at this Citizens' Assembly shall be modified to the suspension of the Flame Chase journey. This resolution shall be put up on the Wall of Heroes, such that all citizens are aware of the city's way forward.
To the future! Yes! I like this. Fantastic! Yes!
Aglaya, dear Aglaya, what has caused your heart to soften? You also don't seem to be as quick-witted as before.
Wag your tongue as much as you like. Since the Flame Chase journey has been preordained by the prophecy, our failure has never been on the cards.
Well then, I guess we'll find out if that's true at the Citizens' Assembly.
Castorus. What's going on?
Well, it seems that when I sent you to look for Anaxa, I unintentionally facilitated your partnership with him instead.
My apologies, everyone. I know that you have many questions to ask me. I will answer them to the best of my knowledge.
In that case, please tell us as much as you can.
In actuality, he showed me a past that was both long and heavy.
The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Professor, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes.
Have you heard of this tale before? A tale about the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. It was a seaside town which enjoyed the ocean breeze and glorious, peaceful times, thanks to the wisdom of its ruling queen. Until one day, an evil dragon descended upon the town. Its wings were large enough to blot out the sun, while its claws were sharp enough to rip the waves apart. It barged into the tall tower and devoured the queen's beloved daughter. It even settled itself in her bedroom, like a tyrant king. assembled 300 warriors who managed to subdue the evil dragon by chaining it up. However, when the queen slit open the dragon's belly, she realized that the princess had long since been digested, and all that was left of her was a pile of bones. Devastated, the queen wept for several days. It was then that a devious, smooth-talking scholar arrived at the palace and suggested that the princess could be revived through the use of dragon bone and dragon blood. That liar called this process the secret art of alchemy. The princess was reborn! The queen was overjoyed, blissfully unaware that the evil dragon's soul still lurked within the princess's body. As revenge, the evil dragon swallowed the poor queen, the glib liar, the courageous warriors, and all of the town's innocent civilians in a single gulp. Worse still, the souls of the deceased were refused entry to the Netherrealm because they were filled with regret. Forced to roam the mortal realm, these resentful souls ultimately converged into a river of souls that would not retreat for a long time. The terrifying death had consumed all. Thereafter, our hometown fell into ruin as well. Until... Actually, I don't know what happened next either.
Oh, my. It seems that you still like to whet people's appetites even after all this time, Pelixia. So, according to your story, this is how I used to look? It's practically a mirror image. And yet, what exactly is this?
A miracle that I created with alchemy. As for what it is and how I was able to accomplish it, I'll keep the answers to myself for now.
Oh, my goodness. Is this cliffhanger really necessary?
Quiet, Titan. Continue to enjoy this splendid play, and the truth will naturally reveal itself.
Dragon, huh? I've heard this legend before.
In that case, what do you think of it?
I think that this so-called alchemy was a tenuous analogy added to the story by future generations. After all, you've never heard of a tradition of alchemy in your hometown before, have you?
Indeed. Before I left home to pursue my education, I never even knew that anybody was looking into this area of study.
Therefore, we can just treat this tale as a fable told to young children.
A fable, you say? If so, what moral is it trying to impart to the kids?
I guess it might be the concept of equivalent exchange?
Oh? I thought the moral might be closer to something like honor the dead. What? At a loss for words?
No, I merely realized that we're both thinking of the same principle. If life is priceless, then there is hardly anything else in this world that is of equal weight to it, right?
Indeed. As expected of the wisest scholar in the land.
You flatter me. Why don't I ask you a question as well, as a form of equivalent exchange?
Of course. What is your question?
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
What? What kind of strange question is this? I got it. You're just trying to get me to tell you whether I like anyone, right?
Let's just leave it at that. That was rude of me.
Yes, I would.
Oh?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I'm certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. After all, you, me, and the rest will all have to face that fateful moment eventually. My time is finally here. However, perhaps because of my firm belief in the immeasurable value of life, I am unable to complete the trial.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains and be reborn with the dead flame. It is a pity that fate is such a cruel mistress.
Is there no other way of interpreting those words?
I'm afraid that the meaning is clear. Between my sister and me, one must pay the price. Our trial can only be completed when the one chosen sacrifices her life. I'm afraid that the prophecy might even have selected a pair of twins for this exact purpose.
Fortune makes fools of us all.
My sister is prepared to sacrifice herself. And yet, I can't do the same. How absurd. My time is almost up, but I'm still afraid to welcome death. What should we do? If I'm ultimately not able to make up my mind...
Since Chaos is willing to guide all of us and leave this trial to the end, there is still plenty of time for you to ponder.
That's right. Don't allow the fog of an uncertain future to cloud your mind.
Trial, prophecy, the topics that they're discussing seem familiar. But these three people must not have left their names in the epics. Otherwise, I would have some recollection of this.
Amphoreus' history before the Titans were born was complete chaos. Is that not strange by itself? I have long held 3 hypotheses about this. However, let's continue watching for now.
Calypso, Polixia, and this warrior. I seem to have met him somewhere before.
Regarding this matter, Nias, are you confident that you'll complete your trial?
Of course. Though, I am worried about what will happen once I've emerged victorious.
Looks like you have made up your mind.
Yes, this is the safest course of action.
Completely separating courage, honor, tenacity, sacrifice, and reason. You really know how to make things difficult.
Please, young lady, witness my fall and demise. Lady Calypso, you shall host the soul-rending ceremony.
I do not understand. Why would you dare to sacrifice yourself for a future that you won't get to witness?
Because this is our destiny. The power that resides within me is so intense that I will one day be engulfed by it. Furthermore, a valorous death before glorious return has always been the path I chose to walk. A journey I began long ago. If your sister or Chaos were in my position, I believe they would make the same choice as well.
I'm not that brave. I don't know how I'm supposed to face such a serious affair.
Despite being Death's chosen one, it seems you still don't know how to face it. Let's chat, young lady. Perhaps I shouldn't end my journey so hastily. Since there's still time, I'm not worried about letting fate wait a little longer.
Of course. This warrior is Lord Anias. As the embodiment of Nikador's divinity, he entrusted his life to us and allowed humankind to end his madness. That means that what I'm currently seeing before my eyes is, in fact...
Looks like one hypothesis of mine has already been proven true. These heroes are the true forms of the Titans, before they attained their divinity. If so, the chosen one of death that he speaks of is actually...
Polixia? Is the previous form of Thanatos? But her appearance...
If this is true, as long as we can find out where she went, we'll naturally be able to figure out the location of the Death Titan.
But before that, we first need to witness what ultimately happened to Lord Anias.
Sealed within this statue is undoubtedly his sacrifice.
They use their own body as our city walls, keeping out and protecting us from the pervasive spread of madness. They are acutely aware that if the end times were to arrive, there would be nothing left in this world to conquer.
I believe that his tenacity is sealed within this statue.
Before we fought Nikador, we also released it from the stone statue. Emerge from your cocoon.
Honor, courage, tenacity, sacrifice.
And finally, the only thing that remains is reason.
Cheer up, young lady. There is no need to shed tears over a glorious death.
All farewells in this world are sorrowful, Lord Nias.
No, young lady. As a warrior, I have witnessed too many bitter deaths. But now, all I feel is peace. I did not know until this moment that mortals could live their lives in such a way.
Although only a sliver of your soul remains, you remain so optimistic. Or maybe the truth is that you aren't able to feel sorrow anymore.
To be honest, I don't know either. But I am certain of one thing. This is not an acceptance of death nor apathy toward it. It's not even a feeling of despair. I am just enjoying what remains of my life to the fullest.
Enjoying?
Indeed. Along this journey that we've taken together, not only have I changed the world, I myself have also changed in the process. And now I have reached the journey's end. When I look back and see the grand epic that I've personally written, how could I not revel in that fact?
But when you depart the mortal realm, won't all of your accomplishments be reduced to nothing? Separation and death are two sides of the same coin. Reconciling this doesn't come easily for a mortal.
Finally, let me recount to you a story of mine, young lady. The first time I returned from the battlefield, I felt extremely hollow. The calamity had devoured everybody on the battlefield but me. When I returned to the city alone, the citizens held a banquet for me that was far from pleasant. I felt as though I was still on the battlefield, and the person who had returned was nothing but an empty shell. It was late into the night by the time the banquet ended. My head still reeling, I returned alone to the barracks. On the way back, I encountered someone. It was a crazed scholar looking at the night sky and muttering to himself by the side of the road. Although I tripped over him and fell, I wasn't angry in the slightest. And maybe because I saw myself in him, I inexplicably asked him a question. Do you think that it'd be better if we just died on the roadside like a couple of stray dogs? To my surprise, he shrugged his shoulders and sighed.
To someone who is currently experiencing death, dying and living afford the same amount of bliss. Now please go away and don't block my starlight.
Are you trying to say that there is no difference between living and dying? For they are both journeys that lead toward death?
That's exactly what life is, and death is, but a scale to measure how valuable the journey was. Journeys and epics are only glorious and magnificent because all things eventually fade to dust. Therefore, young lady, don't detest your fate. Instead, willingly and respectfully embrace it.
The embodiment of strife telling me about the majesty of the world.
Indeed. I believe that when the fated moment eventually arrives, you will be able to understand my words. It is time for me to knock on death's door. I will set up a long table at the end of the road and humbly await your arrival. When that moment finally comes, let us drink and be merry then.
I knew this day would eventually come.
Are the both of you ready?
Polixia. I'm here. What? This...
This is quite interesting indeed.
Is this... Polixia's sister? Is it... me? Now, it's time for us to fulfill our promises. Are you afraid? What are you afraid of?
That I won't be able to do it.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold in the prophecy, and according to our vows, once it all ends, we must face our fated moment head-on.
Even if it was prophesied, do we have no say in the matter? It's so unfair. Why are we the only ones who are forced into mutual destruction? Let me do it, sister. Let me be death's sacrifice. I was never long for this world anyway. But you're different. I was the one who wasted your life after all.
You're wrong, Polixia. I don't think that my life was wasted. Just the opposite. When I finally arrived at this destination and looked back at the journey I took, I discovered that flowers had long since bloomed along the path I walked. It was you who sowed the seeds for this sea of flowers, one that is more beautiful than the promised land at the end of the world. Besides, I have lived a fulfilling life. Even though I was fated for sacrifice, none of the things that I've experienced will dissipate. Instead, they'll forever live on as memories inside your head. Will they not?
How could my memories of you ever compare to the actual you?
Well then, tell me. What exactly are we?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But regardless of what the answer is, regardless of how we're shaped by others, or even by this world, since we were born, the fact that we existed was predestined, and nothing could erase it. This is why I will always, always be by your side. We're twins, after all. All right, my dear Polixia. It's time to extract my heart and light the flame of death. After that, use it to plant the first bud in the prophesied new world.
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I am certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. Even now, my answer remains the same. This is why, sister, I promise you, in the prophesied new world, I shall plant the first bud on your behalf. Go now. Return to the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. I shall open wide the entrance to the Netherrealm and grant you a second life. The living beings on this earth shall respond to my call and lead you to the sacred daylight. Remember, do not look back on the land of the dead, and do not stop moving. In the new world promised by the prophecy, march toward your new life. As for the price of our equivalent exchange, let me be the one to pay it.
Everybody, we've come to the end. Unfortunately, I am not compatible with the Supreme Being, so I was unable to completely fuse their soul into my own body. However, being able to glean all this from them is exciting enough. I'm certain of this now. Before the Titans that we are well acquainted with were born, a group of heroes roamed the land. These heroes followed a prophecy and took possession of divine authorities one by one, until they eventually became the pantheon of the new world. Just like the flame chase journey of today, Amphoreus' history is cyclical in nature.
What a startling revelation. This means that the demigods, who bear the core flames, will also become the new titans at the world's end, thereby shaping a new world?
I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova as mentioned in the prophecy.
This is utterly unbelievable. Besides, those twins in the past, even if they really are Thanatos, their whereabouts are still unknown even today.
Are their whereabouts truly unknown? Didn't Polixia mention that seaside town, the birthplace of alchemy in the tale of the dragon? In our world,
there exists a city which perfectly matches that description. Styxia.
But the people there worship Vagusa and bear no relation to Thanatos. I have also never been to that place, as in the time of Idonia, it had long turned into underwater ruins.
Take this.
This is...
the Nusporist masterpiece, the Philosopher's Stone. It was made by transmuting all of the sages' wisdom into a single entity, with their flesh and blood as its foundation. Remember, I've mentioned before that the art of alchemy is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. This process also applies to the pursuit of truth. Regardless of how unbelievable this sounds, the truths of the world have been refined from the impurities. Think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown, allowing you to reform the door to the nether realm and discover Thanatos' fate.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever. But what if your conjecture is wrong?
Simple. I shall merely admit to the entire world that my experiment was a failure. However, my line of thinking will not fail because I have already planted the seeds of doubt into the hearts of the masses. Actions speak louder than words, Castorus. With the assembly about to begin, don't forget the promise you've made.
I've already searched for so long. I'm willing to try one more time. While we converse, her life is also slowly slipping away. But before I leave, I have another question. What exactly did we witness just now?
That was the world imprinted in Kefali's soul. If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final step. Go. Do not disappoint me.
I understand.
Hey, child of humanity.
Don't get antsy. I still remember the question you posed to me. As a scholar, I do not wish to offer up ambiguous conclusions. Let's discuss this topic again when she manages to find the evidence.
I merely wanted to ask, was that stone transmuted from your heart? If so, rebirth is no longer an option for you.
Why not? When I was a child, I lost someone dear to me. When I was a teenager, I lost my faith. A while back, although you saved my life, I also lost my soul in the process. Now I'm merely forsaking my body. What's the big deal?
Why are you always finding ways to die? Isn't it good to be alive?
This is but a necessary sacrifice on my path to transform into the purest of them all.
Can someone who's dead even claim to be the purest of them all? Furthermore, if your hypothesis is proven correct, does it not just confirm that the myths are true, and thereby invalidate all your theories?
No, it's just the opposite. If my hypothesis is correct, it means that I can actually ascend to godhood and reshape this absurd world that you all have created.
That's a lot to take in at once.
Lady Aglaya, please, let me explain.
Go on.
You know that the core flame of death has always been the greatest unknown regarding the Era Nova, which is why both you and Kindness desire to gain the power to control that core flame in the approaching Citizens' Assembly. Professor Anaxa has come to a consensus with Kindness. They want to suspend the trial once Thanatos' core flame is reclaimed, hoping thus to eradicate death from this world. If they're successful, then the flame chase journey will cease, and Akama can enjoy everlasting peace. But I know this runs counter to your wishes. So long as we do not usher in Era Nova, the Black Tide will never be eradicated. Even with Lord Mighty on the front line, and the Black Tide not posing an immediate risk, the danger nevertheless remains. Honestly, it's difficult for me to assess the pros and cons in this decision. But someone must bring the core flame before we can begin negotiations over it. The Titan could be very near. I cannot let this chance slip by. Besides, someone has to make this trip to bring back Mrs. Soul.
Well said. You already had every reason to seek an audience with Thanatos. It's that great performer who has weaponized your wishes and placed us in this difficult situation. A world without death. Do you desire that too?
If fate dictates that my path must oppose yours, I will do all I can to resist it and protect what I aspire to achieve. Lord Mighty showed me that without taking the first step, all talk of what follows is moot.
I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass, and I am glad to have heard your true thoughts. Styxia. I visited that place in the past. Though it is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, it's not hard to see its former splendor. Go. I will not stand in your way. As for you, you are someone who has cheated death. I believe you have more than enough reason to make the trip with Castorus and meet the god of death himself. Castorus, I too look forward to your journey. I wonder what kinds of new interpretations your completed story will bring to the Flame Chase journey.
Thank you, Lady Aglaya.
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment, but if Styxia is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, then how do we find a way in? Lady Trebe is probably...
The answer is quite simple. In the Mids, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. That is to say, they could enter and leave the Nether Realm as they pleased. And if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their divinity must be capable of the same. I'll see you at Marmorial Palace at Action Hour tomorrow. Cypher shall be your guide to finding that ancient city.
Downhung isn't back yet, huh?
born with an evil curse. Her hand dips into lethal cinnabar and white lead to personally decorate the faces of the dead. Her skills are said to bestow beauty on anyone, even transforming their appearance completely. Many skills were born out of her seclusion, but it painted her dwelling in a gloomy vision. Only a select few have set foot in this mansion, and the thief and the weaver were two such lucky persons. The girl converses with all items in the house, specimens, tea sets, and even pillows in profusion, as if she can hear the responses of these non-living things.
I have always lived in isolation. Out of courtesy, this is how I practice my words and actions.
'Tis hard to believe her explanation. Her face when talking shows such a gentle disposition that unless she is telling fabrications, she must regard her partners as mere children. Thus, people pass these rumors down. Within the area of her encirclement, all things became frozen, escaping time's increments. It is an exaggeration, that is certain. People only found an ancient lion's head in battle's ruined armaments.
Those words are true.
The head itself was nearly dead.
Though they won in fierce battle, the warriors were powerless to turn the tide. It was the embrace where death dwelled that gave early release from their pain.
This is how death escapes time. She keeps every final embrace hidden in her immortal heart. Out of her numerous works, butterflies and flowers often stand out stark. Ignite them, and you can almost hear the maker's remark. Even in death's silence, her sound can still be heard. It is a gift greatly treasured by the maiden. Few have the honor to be graced with such work. Only one has the heart to burn such a gift, and the reason she gives is rather far-fetched.
I must peer into all fates unknown.
The power of time is boundless, but there is one thing that it cannot conquer.
Death is abominable in humans' eyes. Apart from my identity, there's nothing about me worthy of praise.
The beloved Goldweaver hears this in distress, then tries to teach her the art of weaving and threads. It has been said that the maiden has works that the holy city possesses. But this is the judgment the Goldweaver expresses.
Ah, well, none can know all things, nor be skilled in all crafts. Her works are too early for the living to comprehend.
This is a tale buried in history. One day, a student elated in victory dashed around the Grove's territory.
I saw the spell the professor carved on his body.
The youth with white hair was beside himself in joy.
It must be a power most secret, a means for one man to stand against 1,000.
That spell was rare indeed, for it was a secret way to overturn a cart of hay. The scholar was still a mortal body, as yet to snatch life from death, or to reforge a new flesh through a god's remedy. Various minute tricks and parody. He studied them all, crafting schemes, oh so busy. For everyone knows, he wishes not to use the divine power that is his, refusing rightful custody. And in that unwitnessed moment of his death, final tragedy, he still held the hay cart spell steady, standing alone, facing the evil enemy. Now, that craft is regarded as a magnificent study, not because of what it was, but because of its purpose, known to everybody. In fact, he once crafted miracles, forging silent servants using soil as vehicle. Though no sentience, they do their job without obstacles, rivaling Titankin in spectacle. However, one day, he suddenly changes his tune.
Creation is the Titan's work, and slavery is the Titan's manacle. When imitating divine evil, there's no need to invest reason, most pinnacle.
When the servants have all been recycled, he deigns not to explain, fearing to waste his reason or muscle. So he jokingly concludes the questioning with a chuckle.
If it's just for odd jobs, students are a better gamble.
The way he addresses himself comes from elsewhere. An imitation of a divine machine with some flair. He happily answers 5 questions for those unaware. Knowledge seemingly given with stingy care.
For a wise one, 5 answers reveal creation's secrets, the truth hidden and bold. But a fool learns but not, and is left in the cold. Now, inquire.
That is in fact the scholar's crafty snare. He hides the answer he seeks behind questions posed by those unaware, doling breadcrumbs as bait to lure and compare, whether the inquirer may be worthy of his wisdom to share. The scholar never looks at laws and measurements, ignoring the flow and shift of time's passage, and uncomprehending students gossip in eager regiments.
Why? Obviously, to drag out class time as a statement.
The student's answer seems rather adamant.
He is panicked by the flow of time, for his work is yet done, yet to implement.
The stubborn assistant interjects in a rare display of testament.
This man is too arrogant, and he intends to desecrate Orynyx's accomplishments.
The passing sage from another school brings admonishment. Outside the courtyard, the gossip flows into the scholar's ear. He silently gives a grade to every question and argument. But none know the true answer, according to his judgment. On the leaves, the rustling wind plays a melody as the girl looks over this courtyard petite and exhales, gently dispersing the palm-held blessings The entire yard is lit softly, like a dandelion bathed in sunlight.
Is this courtyard a tad too small?
It's okay, Clementine. As long as it provides warmth plenty.
The girl makes the courtyard tidy, and in the Evernight lands outside the holy city, there is now a light curing souls' maladies. The girl's skills can bring forth miracles, but today she welcomes a patient quite special.
Welcome to the Twilight Courtyard. How can I help you?
The gravely patient shakes their head.
The end times are coming, and we all wander more and more. Oh, you may heal our wounds, but you cannot cure despair.
The girl watches the patient leave, and her heart swells in sorrow.
Clementine, prepare some things with me. I want this place to be brighter tomorrow.
The redhead child takes the girl's hands.
Long time no see, Hyacinth. Are you here in Akama for a visit, or do you need help from us?
The girl recounts her needs.
I want some shining things, even if they are considered junk.
Multicolored paper bags, crystal clear glass, cottons variously dyed, and jingling wind chimes. The girl brings them back to the courtyard and spares no effort to decorate all around. And when some fireflies wander in, the girl is all smiles.
Little ones, thank you for your light.
The patient returns here and opens their eyes wide. Multicolored dreams on the rooftop now reside, and the lawns contain the sweet whispers of sunlight. A soft breeze passes with no hint of cold, only serving to wake the playful chimes and ocarinas of delight.
Wow, there's light everywhere. What a warm place.
The news is soon spread by the grove, and people with empty hearts visit in droves. The girl prepares candies and tea and listens to every visitor's complaints. People say there was once a star called the sun in the sky, but now that star is no longer there. People say that Aquila took away the world's light, but they still left behind a heart bright to illuminate this happy dream in the night. Like the blizzards in the month of mourning, doth calamity fall, burying warmth and dawn's calls. Orderless tides swallow up the grove of reason, and that tiny healing haven is also extinguished, broken and barren. When the girl, far from home, hears of such grave news, the wind brings her a moment of confusion. But it also evaporates the tears that briefly sparkle into being, and the girl still smiles, bright and happy. Soon, the people of Akama see once again the girl collecting more pieces and tokens, wanting to rebuild that pure haven. But she never realized that wherever she stood, she herself was that holy courtyard, that light-filled haven.